Okay, this is SNK versus Capcom Chaos, or SVC Chaos, the latest game in the SNK versus Capcom series. Now, I've played the arcade version of SNK versus Capcom 2001 2001 or whatever it is, Mark the Millennium. And that was a pretty fun, fluid game. This, on the other hand, is pretty stiff. And everything just seems really half-assed and poor quality. Starting with the graphics. The graphics are really choppy, really just ugly. This is just an ugly looking 2D fighting game. Like, when we got games like Guilty Gear X2, Zuka, and even the Dreamcast version of Capcom vs. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 looks a lot better than this. And this came out, I believe, in 2004 or 5. Correct me if I'm wrong. But graphics are like really just hemmed in, and there's not a lot of polish to the look of the game. Audio-wise, there's nothing really memorable. The Japanese voice acting's in there, so you don't have to worry about how bad the English ones could be. So, if that's a positive for you, there's like one reason for you to spend $5 to get this game, which you can get for now. But where it falls flat on its ass and doesn't really get up is the gameplay. First and foremost, I'm gonna preference with this review that I'm not a big fan of 2 fighting games. I really think that certain ones have like 1 or 2 combos you can abuse again and again and again. And I think there's just more depth to a game like UFC, Sudden Impact, or even a game like Tekken. So, I'm not exactly the one to be reviewing this game. But my biggest issue is problems with the bounce. Since we have characters in this game from Samurai Showdowns, like Earthquake, Jerry Yura, and whomever, they have to balance it out so that these guys aren't really that broken. So what they did was that they added a full second delay between when you do on the ground slash. The problem is, once you get the timing right, and if you've seen what kind of damage I've been doing to fighters with just one hit, you understand why I really do think this is broken. They've also reduced the speed of some of the characters in the game. Like, they really just slowed down Earthquake, which he was slow enough in that game to really balance out his power. But it doesn't really matter when he's pretty much useless, because he takes up half the screen. He's a big freaking, big open target, and also really doesn't help out the Samurai Showdown. Guys, when like just one slash takes like a third of their bar off. Hate to see them with huge combos. There's Xbox Live, but now that Xbox Live on the Xbox is pretty much nullified by Microsoft. There's no point in it. There's versus mode and all the standard modes in the typical fighting game. But when the game is, I really don't see much point in playing it. When the fighting game, the basis of it is pretty much broken and doesn't really feel right to control. Like, I was playing as some of the Street Fighter guys, and the game just still felt really stiff. And overall, it's just poor quality. It doesn't feel right in the hands. In my hands, it doesn't play that well. And when there's so many other better options out there, like when there's a market, when they're alive, and even now, the 2D fighting game really ceases to be any more than something for the hardcore. So, really ceases to be something more than the hardcore, and it doesn't really give a lot of breathing room for somebody to really get back into it. With the exception of Street Fighter 4, there's really not much point in really releasing a 2D fighting game because, you know, UFC is out there. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 is out there. And these are better fighting games than this ever hopes to be. I'm sorry, I can't give this any more than a 4.5. I had some fun, but there's not enough fun in here to really recommend this game to anybody, except for the hardcore 2D fighting game fan. And that's it for me. I'm gonna finish this picture off. And